So topic 14, which is about organic chemistry, and the subtopic is alcohol. So alcohol is a functional group, means a group which is attached to the carbon, which chemically and physically change the property of the carbon structure. So that we call alcohol. And this group, the functional group OH is present, and the name should end at ol, OL. So if we have one carbon, like example, one carbon, and that is attached with OH, remaining three hydrogen are there. So what is the name of the compound? How to name this compound? We have one carbon. Because of the presence of one carbon, the name should start with meth. So we write meth because there is one carbon. We check the bond between the carbon atom because all around it's single bond, so it is N due to the presence of single bond. And due to the presence of OH group, the name should end at all. So it is methanol or methanol. Same thing, if we have two carbon atoms and there is a OH group attached, this will have three hydrogen, this will have two, and then OH. Oxygen can form two bonds that belongs to group 6. Now, what is the name of the compound? Because there are two carbon atoms, so the prefix which we use for two carbon atom, that is eth. So we say eth. The bond between the carbon atom, because they have a single bond between them, so we call them as N. And due to the presence of this OH, we call that as ol. So it is ethanol or ethanol. Same way, if we have three carbon atoms and the OH is attached to one of them, and remaining hydrogen atoms are attached to the structure. So three carbon atoms, due to the presence of three carbon atoms, we will say prop. There will be a single bond between the carbon atoms, so here we'll write An, not Ane. Ane is used when there is no alcohol, like no functional group, but only An if there is a single bond. And due to the presence of OH, what we call that as ol. So it becomes propanol. Same way, if we have four carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the OH group is attached, and remaining hydrogen atoms are attached to the carbon chain, the carbon structure. So for four carbon atoms, it will be but because of four carbon atoms, and because of single bond, and all because of OH. So but, four carbon and single bond and all, so it will become butanol. So using the carbon atoms, we name the prefix using a bond between the carbon atoms. The middle name is depending on the bond between the carbon atom. If there is a single bond, it will be N. And when we have OH group attached, we call that as alcohol. So it will become butanol. How we can prepare these alcohol, manufacture of alcohol? There are two ways to prepare these alcohol. One is by fermentation of a glucose or a sugar solution, and another one is by catalytical addition of steam to ethene. So if you want to manufacture ethanol, we want to prepare ethanol, there are two ways to prepare. One is by fermentation of a glucose. So in a fermentation of a glucose, what happened? We have a sugar solution which is C6H12O6. In the absence of oxygen and in the presence of biological catalysts, enzymes which are present in the yeast, this sugar molecule will decompose into ethanol, C2H5OH plus CO2. So the glucose or a sugar solution will decompose in the presence of enzymes which are biological catalysts. And how we provide these enzymes? We are providing by using a yeast. And the temperature for this reaction is around 30 degrees centigrade. So around 30 degrees centigrade, the sugar solution with the passage of a time will decompose into or break down into ethanol and give out carbon dioxide. But it should be anaerobic conditions, means no oxygen should be there, and this sugar solution will decompose. This is one way of preparing ethanol. What is the second way of preparing ethanol? If we want to prepare ethanol, yesterday we did the reaction of alkene. So like ethene plus steam give ethanol. So ethene is C2H4 plus steam water HOH or H2O. So as a result, what it will produce? It will produce C2H5OH. So we can produce ethanol by either fermentation or breakdown of a glucose, or we can also react with steam. The ethene react with steam, give ethanol. The fermentation, when we compare the two reactions, the fermentation is a slow reaction because slowly the reactant will convert into product. And here, because the reaction is done at a high temperature and in the presence of the catalyst, so reaction is a fast reaction. Around 300 degrees centigrade, 60 to 70 atmospheric pressure is used, and phosphoric acid is used as a catalyst. So the advantage here, when we prepare ethanol by ethene, that is a fast reaction, but from glucose, it is a slow reaction. But this is a disadvantage is also there because it increases the cost. Like you have to supply a lot of heat energy, you have to apply high pressure. So this reaction, this is an expensive method, but preparing ethanol by glucose, it is a cheap process. So when we compare the advantages and disadvantages for these two reactions, as you can see here, preparing alcohol by two ways. We can either prepare by fermentation or from ethene. What are advantages? We are using a renewable resource. Renewable resource means like glucose. Glucose, as you can see, glucose is the main reagent here. So we can have this glucose. It can prepare by like or extracted from the plant, so we can have glucose. And it is good use of a waste organic material. Like example, the organic material which is a waste, we can also use them. What are advantage, but what are disadvantage? It need lot of material is needed to produce 1 liter of ethanol. Like you need too much glucose to produce this ethanol, and at the last you have to do fractional distillation because this reaction will continue like for some time and then it will stop. Why the reaction stop after some time? Because this yeast cannot survive in alcohol as the glucose C6H12O6 converted into ethanol C2H5OH plus H2O. So this glucose, the yeast which is having enzymes, yeast cannot survive in alcoholic medium. So once the alcohol is forming, it will kill this yeast. And when it will kill this yeast, it is having enzymes which were acting like a catalyst. So the reaction will slow down. So that is a disadvantage here, that this reaction, and whenever we extract this, we'll have a mixture of glucose, like some glucose is still there and you have ethanol a product. So you have to do fractional distillation. Whenever we want to separate two miscible liquids from each other, we use fractional distillation. So we have to do fractional distillation, which increases the cost. This is a very slow process and it is a batch process. The batch process means like process will occur, then it will stop, then it will happen, then it will stop. Like happen for some time, then stop, happen for some time and then stop. So that's why we call that as a batch process. It's not a continuous process. So these are the disadvantages. What are the advantages of manufacturing alcohol, ethanol from by reaction of ethene? So it is a fast reaction, it is a continuous process, it will give pure ethanol. And disadvantage, it's from non-renewable resource, like because ethene is from the hydrocarbons and from crude oil. By cracking of the crude oil, like the heavy fractions, we obtain this ethene. So it is a non-renewable process. And it needs lot of energy is needed to make steam and right conditions for this reaction to occur. So these are some advantages and disadvantages of fermentation and manufacturing ethanol by fermentation and manufacturing ethanol by steam. Then describing the properties of ethanol. What are the properties of ethanol? Ethanol can also be used as a fuel because it can burn. So when we burn ethanol, it produces carbon dioxide, and complete combustion gives carbon dioxide and water. And it can be used as a fuel because it releases heat energy and it gives burn in a good supply of oxygen. Like you need a lot of oxygen to burn ethanol completely. Then some uses are there. So ethanol it burns well in oxygen and give out plenty of heat. So it can be used as a solvent, like to dissolve certain things which does not dissolve. Like what if water does not dissolve certain compounds, we can use ethanol as a solvent. And it is added or it is use of the as a fuel instead of petrol because it burn cleanly. So about the alcohol, you have to learn how we prepare ethanol by fermentation and by reaction of steam. And then it can be used as a fuel by burning, as a solvent as well. Then how to draw the isomers, drawing the isomers of alcohol. So how to draw an isomer of alcohol? What you will do to draw an isomer of alcohol, we will change the position of OH. And when we change the position of OH, the name of alcohol also changes. There is a slight change in the name. Like example, we have an alcohol which is C3H7OH. And we want to draw the two isomers. So how to draw an isomer? Isomers means they have the same molecular formula but different structure. We call them as isomers. So 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2 and 3. Then we put OH. So first we'll put OH with the first, either on the right or on the left hand side, we'll put OH with the first carbon, and then remaining hydrogen will be there. This will have 3 hydrogen atoms. This will have 2 hydrogen atoms, and this will have 2 hydrogen atoms. So what we call 3 carbon atoms, because of the presence of 3 carbon atoms, it is prop. Because there is a single bond between the carbon and carbon, so we say N. And OH OH is present, the side where OH is attached, that is the first carbon. So 1, 2 and 3. So this is first carbon is having OH, so we can say it is propan 1-ol. 1-ol means that OH is positioned with the first carbon. We can change the position of OH. If OH is attached with the second carbon, so how they are different from each other, they have different structure, and when they have different structure, their names will also be different. So what is the name of this compound? Because of 3 carbon, we call that as a prop. They have a single bond between them, so we call that as N. The OH now is attached not with the first carbon, it is attached with the second carbon, so we'll say propan 2-ol. 2 is actually representing the position of OH. So propan 1-ol and propan 2-ol are the isomers of each other because we change the position of OH. One more thing, like this is a common mistake student used to make when they draw the structure. If I draw OH with the first carbon on the left hand side, so this will be our first carbon. Like if I attach OH on the left hand side, because the side where OH is closer, that is the carbon which we name as first. So numbering on the carbon started with the nearest OH. So when we number this, this is the first carbon, second carbon, and third carbon. So first carbon is having OH. So here when we number, because the OH is near to the right hand side, that's why we number from the right hand side. Here OH is closer to the left hand side, we number from left hand side. But in this example, if I number from left hand side or I number from the right hand side, it won't make difference. Both cases it will come at 2. So OH with the first carbon here, so this is also propan 1-ol. So whenever we want to draw the isomers of alcohol, we just change the position of OH. So if you want to draw isomer of alkene, you make straight chain and branch. If you want to draw an isomers of alkene, you change the position of double bond. If you want to draw an isomer of alcohol, you change the position of OH. Is it clear how to draw an isomer of alcohol? So numbering the carbon atom, numbering should always start from nearest OH. So it depends on which carbon is having. One, two, three will, yeah, the first carbon is always the carbon which is closer to OH or which is near to OH. We always start from numbering from the nearest OH. So when I draw like another example, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the OH is attached with the first carbon. So this will have 2 hydrogen, this will have 2 hydrogen, this will have 2 hydrogen, this will have 3 hydrogen. So when we number the carbon atom, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I number from right hand side, fourth carbon will have OH. But if I number from left hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first carbon will have OH. So which numbering I should follow? We should always follow a number where the OH is closer. So which numbering I should follow? I should follow from left to right. Because when I number from left hand side to the right hand side, the OH is closer. So what is the name of this compound? Because there are 4 carbon atoms, so we call the name is bute. Bute is because of 4 carbon atoms. They have a single bond between them. So as a single bond between them, it will be N. And now the position of OH, OH is attached according to the numbering, OH is attached with the first carbon. So it is 1-ol. So butan 1-ol. Another example, if the OH is attached with the neighbor, so this is the position of OH. And we have to name this 4 carbon atoms. So because of 4 carbon atoms, it will be bute. But now we will number the carbon atoms. So I can number from left to right or right to left. So if I number from right to left, 1, 2, 3, 4. The third carbon is having OH. But if I number from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second carbon is having OH. So which numbering I should follow? Where the OH is closer, that number we should follow. So OH, when we see the OH is closer to what? The OH is closer to the second carbon. That's why we should follow this second numbering from left to right. So what is the name of this compound? Due to the presence of 4 carbon, it is bute. They have a single bond N, and due to the presence of OH with the second carbon, we call that as ol, butan 2-ol. If I change, so these are the isomers. If I draw another structure and further move this OH towards the right hand side, so this is O and H. and then remaining will be the hydrogen atoms. So when we count from left hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So third carbon having OH. But when I count from right hand side, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The second carbon is having OH. So numbering should always start from a nearest OH. So we'll only follow numbering from right to left. So when we follow from right to left, the OH is coming with the for second carbon. So what will be the name of this compound? That is also butane so both are butane-2-ol. The first one, this is, so these are not different structure. These are considered as the same structure because both are butane-2-ol. So this butane-2-ol and this is also butane-2-ol. So whenever we number the carbon atoms, we number from the nearest OH. Either from left to right or right to left. But where it is closer to OH, that is a number we use. Then the reaction with acid, reaction of alcohol with carboxylic acid. So when alcohol is there, reacted with carboxylic acid, this result in a formation of a compound called ester plus water, and this reaction is reversible. Ester and water can also combine and form this alcohol and car. So it's a reversible reaction. So what are esters? Ester, the name of the ester is having two parts. The first part, the first name is coming from alcohol, and the second name is coming from acid. The name which is coming from alcohol should have YL, like end at YL, and the name which is coming from acid should end at O8. I'll give an example so you will understand this. Like if I say I have methanol plus propanoic acid. So methanol plus propanoic acid will give, because alcohol plus acid give ester plus water. But how to name the ester, that is important thing. The first name of ester is coming from alcohol. So which alcohol is this? Methanol. So first name will be meth. The first name is coming from meth and it should end at YL. So it will become methyl. The first name of ester is coming from alcohol, the meth, and it will end at YL. So it will become methyl. The second name is coming from acid. So which acid is this? Propanoic acid. So it will be prop-N. Till prop-N it will be same. And because the ester, the name of ester should end at O8. So it will become O8 plus water. So whenever alcohol react with carboxylic acid, it gives an ester plus water. So how to know which ester is formed? So first name of the ester is coming from alcohol. The second name is coming from acid. The name which is coming from alcohol should have YL, and the name which is coming from acid will have O8. So it will become methyl propinoid. So if methanol reacted with propanoic acid, this result in a formation of methyl propanoid. So another example, because you should be able to identify which ester is formed, the name of ester from the alcohol. So if I say I have ethanol plus butanoic acid. So ethanol plus butanoic acid. What will be the product? So how to know what will be the product? The first name is coming from alcohol, eth, and the second name is coming from acid, butane. So what will be the product? What will be the ester? So it will be ethyl. And because butanoic acid is there, so it will be but, and butane is because it's from acid, and OH. So ethyl butanoid plus water. So first name, remember, is always coming from alcohol, and the second name is coming from carboxylic acid. The name which is coming from carboxylic acid should have O8. The name which is coming from alcohol should have YL. So it will become ethyl butanoid in this example. Another example, if I say propanol plus ethanoic acid. So propanol plus ethanoic acid, we have to name an ester formed. So how to name an ester formed when propanol reacted with ethanoic acid? The first name is coming from, the first part of the name is coming from alcohol, prop, and the second part is coming from acid. So what will be the name of the ester formed when they react with each other? The result will be propyl, prop, and YL we add for alcohol, and ethane OH plus water will be there as a product. Another example, if we have butanol plus propanoic acid. So butanol plus propanoic acid, which ester will be formed? The first name of ester is coming from alcohol. So alcohol is but, and also it will be but, and the second name is coming from acid, so it will be propan, and then we'll write OH because it's an ester. So result, butanol plus propanoic acid, what will be the product? The product will be but, alcohol name will be YL, butyl, and propan OH plus water will be there as a product. So whenever ester is formed, the first name of ester is from alcohol, and the second name is coming from carboxylic acid. Is it clear how we name the ester? Any doubt till this point about naming of the ester which is produced? So same way, using the name of ester, you can also work out which alcohol and which carboxylic acid react. Like example, if we say we have ethyl propanoid ethyl propanoid plus water, like it's a reverse opposite, what will be the alcohol formed? So first name is from alcohol, and the second name is from carboxylic acid. So this name, the first name, is always coming from alcohol, and the second name is from carboxylic acid. So which one will be there? This will be ethanol because alcohol should have a, and propanoic As the reaction is reversible, the reactant can form a product, the product can decompose and form back the reactant. So both ways you should understand what will be the product if ethyl propanoid react with water, form ethanol and propanoic acid, and if ethanol and propanoic acid react, it will form ethyl propanoid plus water. So when we use water to break down the molecule, we call that as hydrolysis. So this reaction, formation of alcohol and carboxylic acid by ester and water, we call hydrolysis. And the formation of ester from alcohol and carboxylic acid, that's called esterification. So all the examples which I gave previously were esterification because alcohol and carboxylic acid react. Then how to draw the structure of drawing the structure of ester. Sometimes you have to draw the structure, they ask. So how we can draw the structure of ester? So we have ester means C double bonded with O. That is first thing. Whenever you have a compound name as ester, it should have a C double bonded with O. Or you can also say COO. You can write like this or you can write as first. So if I want to draw this, so the part which is coming from alcohol, the part which is attached with alcohol should be with oxygen, which is coming from alcohol. And the part which is coming from acid, the carboxylic acid, should be with a carbon. Example, if I say I want to draw the structure of methyl propinoid. So from the name we identify it as an ester. Or you can also just the first name, the first part of the name is attached with oxygen and the second part of the name is attached with carbon. So first we draw C double bonded with O. That is first thing. Now methyl. Meth means how many carbon? The first name meth means how many carbon? How many carbon for meth? It means number of the carbon should be 1. So we draw 1 carbon with oxygen. And prop means how many carbon? Prop means 3 carbon. So we draw 3 carbon here on the other side. So 1 is already there, 2 and 3. And then we complete this structure. So this carbon maximum can form 4 bond. So this will have 3 hydrogen. This will have 2 hydrogen. And this will have 3 hydrogen. So this is a structure of methyl propinoid. So first name of ester is always attached with oxygen and the second name is attached with the carbon chain. So another example, if I say I want to draw an ester which is propyl butanoid. So we want to draw an ester which is propyl butanoid. So how to draw an ester propyl butanoid? So first we draw C double bonded with O. That is first thing. Whenever you want to draw an ester, you always start with C double bonded with O and then put 2 lines, one on the right, another one on the left. Now this is the first name of ester and this one is a second. So first name of the ester, the first part is attached with oxygen. Prop means what? Prop means 3 carbon. So we have to draw 3 carbon atoms. So 1, 2, 3. But means what? But means 4 carbon. 1 is already there. We don't have to, that 1 is already there. So 2, 3, 4. Now we draw just the hydrogen to complete the structure. So this will have 2 hydrogen. This will have 2 hydrogen. This will have 3 hydrogen. And same way this will have 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, 3 hydrogen. So this is a structure of propyl butanoid. So first name is the first name attached with oxygen, and the second name is with a carbon chain. So another example, if I want to draw ethyl ethanoid. So ethyl ethanoid. So how to draw ethyl ethanoid? Because it's an ester, so C double bonded with O. And this O oxygen, you can make it on the right or the left, it does not make difference. But the first name, what is the first name? That is coming with oxygen. Eth means 2 carbon, and ethanoid also means 2 carbon. So we have to draw 2 carbon on the right and 2 carbon on the left. So 1 and 2, and 1 is already there, so we'll draw another one. Then we'll put hydrogen. So this will have 2 hydrogen, this will have 3 hydrogen, and this will have 3 hydrogen. So this is how we draw the structure of ester, which is in this example is ethyl ethanoid. Is it clear how to draw the structures? Any doubt?